Hello, Honkers fans. Welcome to Meet the Honkers, episode 2. I am Justin Velazquez, and I am joined by new Honkers head coach, Andrew Urbistondo. What's up, Andrew?
How's it going, my man? I'm excited to get going here, man.
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have you on. Let's jump right into it. You're from Stockton, California. How did you
Yes,
get
sir.
into baseball?
Honestly, man, it's just kind of been a family thing. Our pops raised us in baseball. He played baseball growing up. He moved out here from the Bronx, New York, and there's some ballers out there definitely. So he kind of took that out here to Cali and just kind of kept us in it. Baseball's kind of been a thing for us our whole lives, and he really got after it with us and kind of hammered home baseball, 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 and couldn't be happier about it, man, because I absolutely love the game.
How close are you with your dad?
Man, we are tight, honestly, man. I have two other brothers. I have a younger sister that's my half sister, but from my dad and my mom, it's us two, us three. And man, the bond that we have is insane. He's been at every single one of our games. He coached all three of us growing up and stuff like that. And so, the relationship with our dad is definitely something that we cherish and something that we're very grateful to have with him.
Is he the type of father that is, always positive, or is he not afraid to rip into you a little bit?
Oh no, I think he did a great job of finding that, that happy in between. When we needed a good rip in, man, he didn't hesitate to, let us have it. And when he ripped us, he obviously showed us, hey, I'm doing this because I love you, but there's obviously always learning opportunities. And so I think him being like that and him finding that happy medium and not always being the dad that rips you, not always being the dad that's like, hey, it's okay, I think he did a great job, and that kind of has, done great things for me and my brothers. So it's awesome.
Now, managing the Honkers, you were a really good athlete. We were talking about this a little bit beforehand, but you made varsity all 4 years. You won a gold glove in high school. I thought that was super cool. You hit 350 your senior year in high school. So, if things get
Yes,
rough,
sir.
are we going to see you on the field?
Man, hey, if we start kicking the ball around a little bit, I might have to get my glove and go flash some leather during BP one of those days for those guys. You know what I mean? Or might grab a stick and some BGs and get up there and show them how to use the middle of the field. But I like to keep my guys on my toes. And a lot of the guys think it's fun. Get to hit next to our coach or get to take some ground balls next to our coach. So you never know. You might see it at some point this summer. Might have to flash some leather, show you the stick.
How would you describe your game?
My game, oh man. So uh I was the gritty guy. I was the guy in the lineup that pitchers hated facing just because, I didn't do anything crazy special. I didn't hit home runs. I took my doubles here and there, but I was the guy that just grinded to get on base, look to swipe a bag and just get going, you know what I mean? So that was kind of me at the plate on the field on defense. That's kind of what carried me throughout my career was defense, honestly. And so that was kind of my pride and joy. That's my bread and butter. And so getting those gold gloves and stuff was just a product of all the work I put in and just getting after it. All those ground balls that my pops hit me growing up and stuff like that, those definitely played a role. So it was nice to have that. And I think it played a big role in my career.
You mentioned you were a gritty player. Can that be like a personality trait of this Honkers team in 2022? Kind of fouling off those tough pitches, being fundamentally sound in the field. Is that something you're looking to translate into this team coming this summer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think if we can get guys on the same page and just have guys get up there and with the same mentality as, I'm going to be your toughest out you see all day. Imagine a lineup 1 through 9 with guys that are all gritty like that. It's going to be a tough day for the opposing pitcher. And I coach that way as well. I coach gritty. We like to play fast. We play hard. We do the little things right. And I think that stuff translates onto the field and in bigger ways than just the game as well. I think being that way can help these guys, off the field. And I think that's a huge deal.
Yeah, you played JUCO, and I know when you were announced as the Honkers manager, you said playing JUCO means you learned the true meaning of the grind and to fight for yourself. How important was that for you?
Man, coming out of high school, it was JUCO. That's all I had really. I didn't have any Division I offers, D2 or D3. And so, being from Stockton and Delta College being in Stockton, it just made sense for me to go there because it was in my hometown. And honestly, I think it was the best bet for me because, it developed me. It taught you the true definition of grind. Like you're waking up and you're on campus from 7 to 7, sometimes 8 p.m. And it's school, study hall, early work, practice, weights, go home, eat, homework, do it again. And so if anybody can, go through that and successfully get through that, I think it's such a good thing just personally, um, just on the field and off the field. Those things create good habits. Those things create habits that take you throughout life, the rest of your life. And so, I'm very grateful for the opportunity I had at Delta College, and I think it just made me a much better player and a much better person.
How do you think that experience can help you connect with players you'll be coaching now as they go through that same experience you went through?
Yeah, I think it's really nice to be able to get a guy and say, hey man, I know you were at a junior college, even though you're Division I now, but every JUCO bandit per se, has that same type of grind. And when you can relate with your players and you understand and you went through what they went through, it just makes your relationship a lot easier to form and just mold into a stronger relationship between you and the players. And it's nice too because the players know, hey, coach has been there, done that. You know what I mean? The things he's preaching to us, the things he's saying to us, he's done it, he's seen it, and he obviously wants us to do it and wants us to, succeed. And so I think being a JUCO guy, it helps connect with the players a bunch.
When did you decide to become a coach?
Funny you ask. So I was actually going to school to be an athletic trainer. And so that's why I got my bachelor's degree in kinesiology. And my senior year, I was coming towards the end and I couldn't think of life without baseball. And so I was like, you know what, man, how can I give back to the game, give back to everybody who's given to me, and how can I make money doing it? And honestly, coaching came up, and when I was at Bryan College, they gave me an opportunity to stay on as a student assistant. And that just kind of started my coaching career. And from there, it was, the sky's the limit.
Why going back to athletic trainer, what led you to that initially?
I've always been, very interested in, just anatomy, the human body. And I always, what's funny is I always watch like, MLB and NFL. And I remember seeing those guys go down and you see those people sprint out from the dugout or the sideline and, they're just helping them out, getting on them, diagnosing what the problem may be. And I actually saw it as a way to stay around sports. And so I've always wanted to be around sports, and it just started coming down towards the end of my career there. And I was like, man, I really, really love baseball, and I want to do what I can to stay in baseball.
How was that transition for you starting going into your coaching career?
You know what? It wasn't tough, but it was a big learning experience for me. Obviously coming right off of being a player, going straight into coaching, you just see a whole new side of the game. And honestly, it was awesome for me because you just got after it. You got to see these guys work in and day out, and it's just nice as a coach knowing, these guys are working their butt off just like you were, and so that's kind of how it worked out.
What struck you the most, being a player all this time, all of a sudden now you're
Mhm.
coaching? What was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that, when you first started coaching?
Man, I would honestly say, a lot of people say when they get done with baseball, it's the relationships that they miss. And so I thought going into coaching, I was gonna, build these relationship with coaches and stuff, and that was gonna be the relationship extent. But it ended up being such an amazing feeling of just building relationships with all these players, year in and year out. And I think that was just kind of one of the biggest wow factors for me was, just seeing all these guys from, different walks of life, different areas of the world, and getting together, putting on one uniform, and building relationships amongst each other and with the coaches. And I think that was probably one of the coolest, and I would say the wow factor for me when it came to coaching.
Now you've had a couple stops along the way, right? You were a grad assistant at Bryan College. You were the
Yes,
head
sir.
coach at Stagg High School, where you went to high school, I believe. Now
Yes, sir.
there are learning experiences in every stop, but which stop is there, like one stop where you felt like you learned like the most, where you made this leap, where you felt maybe comfortable?
You know what? I would say it was at Stag. Um, I remember being that kid at Stag that didn't have a lot of connections in baseball, and I was just, physically talented. And going back and coaching there and seeing all these same kids that just year in and year out don't get any love, just because of where we are, and maybe they're just not well connected in the game. And that right there is what really brought it all in and brought it home for me. And I really wanted to just be that guy for all of those guys. I had one guy, Vic Sanchez. He was invested in me when I was in high school. I had a lot of coaches and stuff, but he was one of the main ones who was that guy for me. And one of my biggest things in life was, I want to give back to anywhere that I've been that has given so much to me, and why not start at my high school that I went to. And so just being that guy for those guys out there was something phenomenal. I love it out there. I'll still stop by every now and then. Delta's right down the street, so I would say Stag is kind of the stop that really got me invested into relationships in baseball, and just building relationships and being a guy for guys.
How important is Vic to you?
He's important to me, man. He was the guy, he helped me out all throughout high school. And it's actually pretty funny. My pops and him, knew each other from back in the day. They played some Sunday league, with each other and against each other, and he ended up being my high school coach. And it's funny because my dad coached me all the way up, coached my big brother in high school. And then, coming into high school, he found out that Vic Sanchez was the guy there. And he was just like, you're in good hands. So, I'm going to step back and let him take over. And he was awesome. He was even, when I was in college, when I was away in Tennessee, I'd shoot him a call and say, hey man, I got to figure out my swing. What's going on? And he wouldn't hesitate. He would shoot me a text or a call and just, talk me through it. So he's a huge deal. Obviously, I have a lot of baseball mentors, that gave a lot to me, but he's one of the ones that was early on that kind of sparked my drive.
We're gonna see him at a couple Honkers games this summer.
Hey man, Lord willing, that'd be awesome. I'd love to get Vic out there, man. He's awesome.
Now, when I was doing my research, I found this really interesting, and we talked about this briefly before we started, but you have a bachelor's degree in exercise and health sciences. Now, I figured that degree is really important to managing, right? Understanding players' bodies, when to give them a rest day, maybe they're working out maybe too much, when to tone it down a little bit. How can
Mhm.
you incorporate the knowledge you gained from that degree into
Mhm.
being the Honkers manager?
Yeah, obviously in that degree, I learned a lot about the human body, about the levers in the body, and just obviously I was going for athletic training, so I kind of learned like the treatment side of things as well. And so, if we have a guy go down, or if we see somebody, struggling, has a a hurt arm or something like that, it's pretty nice to have the knowledge to understand, like, hey, you know what, maybe this guy just needs an off day. Take it easy on the arm or the leg, or whatever's kind of inflamed or something like that. And it's been a really nice thing to have, kind of in my back pocket. And so I think that helps a bunch as well in terms of just rotation of the guys and stuff like that. We'll have a lot of games this summer, so just having that knowledge really helps.
It's crazy how, you study this one thing, not really thinking about how it can affect what you're doing now, because your attention was something
Mhm.
else then. And now all of a sudden you're doing this, and this,
Yeah.
thing is like really important to, managing, and like it could prevent injuries and stuff
Yeah.
like
Oh
that. So
yeah.
it's weird how that works.
Yeah, I know. It ends up all working out. It came all together in the end, but it's something that's awesome to have in the back pocket, like I said. But I'm glad it kind of worked out. I'm glad my career path took me on this, this lane, this journey, and I'm just kind of taking it all in and just enjoying the moment.
Now you're the Honkers manager entering your first season. What was the process like becoming the manager of the Rochester Honkers?
You know what's really cool? You know how I talked about building those relationships with players and stuff like that. It was actually a former player, that kind of tied me in with this job. And so Carson Stevens, we'll see him, this summer. He was up there last summer, and he found out that they were going to be looking for a head coach, and so he put in a good word for me, and Jeremy got in touch and just kind of hit it off from there. And that's honestly something that I love to talk about, because I am all about building these relationships with my players, and the fact that I was able to land a job like this just off of a former player putting in a good word. I think that that's such a good feeling, and I I love that guy, and I'm going to continue to love all my players and just get after it, man.
That's crazy how like that one relationship can lead to,
Yeah.
this gigantic thing. So talking about relationships, how has the recruiting process been for you?
Honestly, it's been awesome. It's been really cool. I'm on the phone, talking to schools a lot, trying to get guys on, because I do coach at a junior college. So it's kind of nice to kill two birds, one stone per se. I'm calling and recruiting guys for the summertime, but I'm also saying, dropping, the bird in the air. Hey, if you guys need some guys for next summer, or next year, next season, let me know, and I can send a guy from our junior college. But recruiting these guys for the summer has just been really cool, getting to know each guy, talking to guys from all over the country, Florida, up in New York, here hometown in Cali, or even finding out that there's guys from Lodi, California, which is 15 minutes down the road, but I'm talking to him over at a school on the East Coast. So I think that's been an awesome process. I love going out and trying to, build our team, build that gritty team, finding the perfect puzzle pieces and stuff like that. It's been fun, and I'm really excited for the summer.
What are your expectations for the team this summer?
I got high expectations. I'm always going to have high expectations, in anything I do. And I think that's kind of a habit that I've adopted, and a habit that I want to convey to these guys. Hey, we're all here for a reason. We're all here to play ball. This is the standard. The standard is the standard. We're gonna do whatever we need to do to play to that standard and stick to that standard, and just get after it, and have fun this summer, but have fun playing good baseball and playing it the right way.
That is the manager of the Rochester Honkers, the 19th manager in franchise history, Andrew Urbistondo. Thank you for the
Thank
time.
you, sir. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you, and I'm very excited for this summer, dude. I'm ready to get after it.